If you are a new accountant or a student learning the basic features of Microsoft Excel, this video will provide you with the basic commands you will need to create a spreadsheet from scratch. Today's presentation includes information on navigating the Excel screen. We will create a simple spreadsheet together, and I'll show you how to format, sort, and filter your data. I'll also show you how to insert and delete rows. The Excel spreadsheets that you create serves as a tablet that can easily add, subtract, multiply, and divide data. I will show you how to apply these simple formulas in your Excel spreadsheet. And finally, I'll show you how to save, email, and print your spreadsheet. Let us begin. When you first open Excel, this is what you'll see. You have several options to choose from when you're creating a new workbook. You could click on the blank workbook, or you have different templates that are available to you. If you click on more templates, let's search for timesheets. And there are different samples for timesheets that you could choose from. Another option would be to click on New. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Blank Workbook. So once you've opened a blank workbook, this is the screen that will display. Up top, you have several different ribbons. If you click on each ribbon, it gives you different options to choose from when formatting your Excel workbook. So when you have a chance, click on each one and get acquainted with what's available to you. Within the body of the Excel spreadsheet, you will see a grid. The grid is broken down into columns, which are sorted alphabetically, and rows that are sorted numerically. We use these columns and the rows to help us keep track of what data is contained in the spreadsheet. For example, within each grid or each box within the grid is a reference, and this is a cell reference, and we're referencing using the column D5. So each cell has a reference. This is G3, H9, and you see how it highlights itself so you know where you are. Another place that you could see where you are is here on this is your cell address bar. It tells you exactly where your cursor is located. Down below here, you have different tabs. You can create several different worksheets within your workbook to organize your data. This cell right here is called your formula bar. And so if I write something in here, let's just put sample data, you'll see that that information displays right here on your formula bar. So this is the basic navigation of the screen. So let's create a spreadsheet together. I'm going to first put in my header row, which I'll put in date, name, age, and salary. So this first row is my header row, and I like my header row to stand out from my actual data. And to do that, I'm going to highlight it in a different color. So if I click on this paint button, you'll see that you have a palette of colors to choose from. So let's pick this one. I also want to change the font to be a little bolder. So this is going to be my header row, and let's put some data in. Okay, so I have some data in here. And I want it to look a little more pretty. And you see how my date format, they're not all the same. I like everything to be lined up perfectly. You have two ways to format your date. You could pick the date function here, but it doesn't really give me a lot of options to choose from. So instead, I'm going to highlight this whole column and I'm going to right click and click on the format cells. And then here we have the date and it gives us more options to choose from. I like everything to format the same for the day, the month, and the year. So I'm going to click this one right here. So here now everything is lined up symmetrically, but I want to center it. So I'm still highlighting the column and I'm going to center it so everything is centered on in that column. Same with this one. I prefer everything to be centered. It's just more pleasing to the eye. Here we have the salary. So the salary should be a number, and you see right here, it's got it listed as general, but I want it to be a number with a column. So I'm going to click the comma, and I don't care for the cents, so I'm going to eliminate the cents by hitting this arrow right here, and it takes it away. If I wanted to add them back, I could add them back. I could even add multiple decimal places. I also like to see the dollar sign, so that looks nice there. So this is just the beginning of our spreadsheet. So one thing I'd like to do is sum all the salaries. And to sum those salaries, right up here, we have an auto sum feature. So if I click on it and hit sum, it's going to highlight all of the records in that column. And then if I hit enter, it summed all of them. And you see that all those salaries equal 181. I could also change that formula to be an average instead of a sum. But for this purposes, we're going to make this a sum. Okay? So one wonderful feature of Excel is you could also add formulas individually in each cell. So if I want to calculate what percentage of Amy's salary is of the total population, I could easily do that. And I could do that by putting the equal signs, and I'm going to click in D2, and I'm going to divide it, and I'm going to click on the divide sign and divide it by D6. And you'll see here that it put a decimal place. I want it to be a percent, so I put that percent here, but I'm going to do that for the whole column because I'm going to put the title percent of population here. So let's do Jack. We take his divided by that. We'll do Sam's. We take D4 divided by D6, and we'll do Bev's. D5 divided by D6. And if I sum all of those, so I'm going to do that sum, that should equal 100%, which is done, which it is. So I also like to put a bottom border to the spreadsheet so it looks a little neater. And you see how this cell right here is kind of overlapping into D? I could wrap that text so that it doesn't overlap into F by clicking this. But when I do that, you see that it wraps it within that cell, and I want to widen it so it is all in that one cell. Okay, and let's put a bottom border here. Okay, if I want to know what is Amy and Jack's salary, I could do that by hitting equal, and I'm going to click on D2 plus D3. And so the sum of their two salaries equals 60,000. If I want to know the difference between Bev's salary and Amy's salary, I could go take Bev's salary in D5 minus Amy's, and the difference between their two salaries is 52,000. Another feature of Excel is sorting and filtering. So if I want to sort some of the data in here, I want to highlight all the cells, and to do that, you click in this box right here and put data sort. And we want to make sure that when we sort and we have a header field that this box is clicked, and then we're going to select, and we're going to filter or sort on name. So now it's in name order. We kind of lost our formulas in here when we did that. If I want to easily do, if you have a wide range of population and we want to do this formula for percentage of population, if we put a $sign in the bottom numerator or denominator, that will stay put. So, and then this, you see how when I highlight this box there is a little square? If I highlight those and drag it down, that formula, you see how that bottom number stayed the same? That way I didn't have to go in each cell to do the formula. It just carried it down. So the top number changed, but the bottom number didn't. Okay, so we just sorted our data. I'm going to put back on my bottom border. And now I want to filter my data. To do that, you're going to highlight everything here, do data, filter, and I just want to filter on October 25th. So I'm going to go into the filter, select the 15th or 25th, filter, and there's just the 25th. And when you filter data, just to know that that data set is filtered, you'll see that icon has the filter in there. And to unfilter, select all, and then everything else will display. So here's our basic spreadsheet that we did together. So the next thing you want to do is save your spreadsheet. And to save, you're going to click on File, Save, and then you're going to pick where you want to save it and name your spreadsheet. And it's automatically going to save it as an XLSX, and you could save it. Okay. If you want to email your document, you could email it. I don't have the email set up on here, but I'm going to show you how to set up a link, a quick link to email your documents. To do that, if you click on File, and down at the bottom you have the options, and if you click on Quick Access Toolbar, there will be a selection for email. So if you click on email and add, it will be in your quick links. You could go through here and pick what do you commonly use when you're doing a spreadsheet and put it in your quick access bar. and that's right here. So I have two in my quick access bar, the email and the save. And you could click on the email, and then your Outlook will be attached to an email within your Outlook. So the last thing we're going to do together is to format the spreadsheet so that it will print. So let's do that. So if you click on File, Print, and it's going to give you a print preview of your screen, and you could modify that spreadsheet by clicking on, like, if you want it to be landscape instead of portrait, you could do that. Or if you want to increase the size, you could do that. And once you're done kind of playing with how you want it to look, you could print it. So that's pretty much the basic tools that you'll need to create a spreadsheet and continue researching and learning your Excel skills. Thank you.